Welcome back. It's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. Today will be a special video as we jump into the time machine and travel back a whole 14 years to the year 2011. From Bandai, we are featuring the Thundercats classic Mumm-Ra action figure. Alright, so back in the 2010s, there was a new Thundercats cartoon. And there were a whole slew of action figures, as you can see right here, with updated designs to the beloved characters. But at the same time, Bandai knew that a lot of the older fans still took the older designs to heart, and they came out with a Thundercats classic. Much like the Mumm-Ra figure we see here, there was also a Lino. All of these figures were within the 6-inch scale. Roaring back into action, these highly detailed and articulated figures are based on the classic 1980s animated Thundercats series. You could create action poses and includes extra hands. And we have Mumm-Ra. Right, so today is February 16, 2025. I saw this at one of my local collectible toy stores and I could not resist picking it up. Recently, I grabbed this guy off the Target shelves, and this is the Super 7 DX Deluxe Lino figure. And when I saw this, I was kind of curious. I'm like, maybe these two scale well next to each other. We have a much more modern action figure versus the one from 14 years ago. And I thought it'd be kind of cool, just to see how compatible these lines are with one another. So we have the Mumm-Ra figure here, and the box art looks awesome. We don't get boxes as cool looking as this nowadays. Nice large window, very colorful design, and beautiful graphic design work. I really applaud Bandai back in the day for, producing such eye-catching packaging. And let's take out Mumm-Ra. Right, so first impressions of the figure while it's still in the tray. It looks great. Now, even though this figure is 14 years old, engineering-wise, it doesn't seem that too dated or antiquated. It has a lot of the stuff going on that modern action figures have nowadays. It's very dynamic looking as well. Alright, Mumm-Ra comes with extra pairs of hands. Here they are. They're the C gripping hands, so we can hold on to accessories. Also included with Mumm-Ra are his bandages, which you can see right here. I love how they're kind of like this flowing around. It really adds a lot of liveliness to the character. And what you see here is that there's a couple of pegs on the back on both sets. And then you can easily plug it into the figure on these sockets here. To complete his look. Like he just came out of his tomb and he's looking all angry and stuff's flying around. But for the sake of the review, we're just going to leave these off. But we'll put them back on later. And let's take a look at Mumm-Ra up close. Great looking action figure. Again, even though this figure is 14 years old, it still holds up very well. You're looking at a dude that stands in at about 6 3/4 inches, 7 inches if you include the top of his headdress. Nice looking head sculpt. You know, we have a nice angry expression. Again, I love how dynamic the character looks. You know, the bandages on his headdress are kind of flowing around also. Very clean printing on the emblem on his chest. The color scheme looks pretty accurate to the animated series, I believe. If anything, it might be a little bit too light. The skirt piece here is actually a firmer plastic. It is flexible, but I have a feeling it's going to restrict the movement of the legs. And let's examine his articulation. His head looks left and right. Kind of just nods just a little bit. His arms are articulated at the shoulders, nice and smooth. And they go outward. These feel really nice. For a figure from like 14 years ago, some of these limbs move a lot smoother than like some of the modern action figures we get nowadays. And the quality of plastic, it's nice also. It's kind of like a stiff, firm plastic. And again, I'm very impressed with how smooth these joints move. If anything, you know, it's kind of a turnoff that you can see these exposed screws. But at the same time, it gives you an idea of the engineering back then. You know, it's kind of antiquated. You know, nowadays, a lot of 6-inch action figures, they don't have screws holding them in place. But there is something to be said about the quality of this figure. Everything moves really well. It feels quite durable. He has swivel movement at the waist, and it even rolls around, which is nice. Wow, I did not expect that. There's a bicep swivel, a single pinned elbow, articulated wrists, and again, you could swap out the hands. I'll probably keep the stock hands on here. I think they're a little bit more expressive, and they kind of fit the character more. The legs do kick up, but again, like I mentioned earlier, this skirt piece is going to restrict the movement. It would have been nice if they cut a slit here, so it allow, you know, for more freedom, but that's not the case. The legs also do kick outward as well, but the skirt piece does restrict it. A single pinned knee and articulated ankles. And then they're also on a rocker, so they can level out, which is nice. And again, this figure was from 2011, so even though it's not on par with a modern action figure, nonetheless, it can still hold its own, in my opinion. And here he is next to the very recent Super 7 DX Lino figure. And they scale pretty well next to each other. And I think they look pretty good. So yeah, pretty stoked on this purchase. I got this for a very fair price also. I believe I paid maybe 15 bucks for it, which isn't bad. And even though it's an older figure, I still think it holds up really well. And let's attach these extra bandages onto him. Yeah, so here he is looking all crazy. Looks like he just came out of his tomb, all angry. He still needs his coffee to get the day started. But yeah, awesome figure. Very stoked on this one. And it makes me want to like hunt down the old Bandai Lino figure as well. Alright, so let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.